Hey guys, welcome to The Strong Young Man. Humans will often idealise their view of their childhood as it recedes into the past. Most of us will view our childhood as a golden time of play and excitement, with nothing to worry about. People yearn to re-experience their childhood because they harbour the illusion that it was a golden paradise. Childhood is a period of our life that we have been permanently exiled from. This makes our childhood that much more precious because we cannot re-experience the past. It is for this reason that the past will always elicit stronger feelings than the present. The older we get, the further we move away from our childhood and the more we idealise it. Understand that idealising your childhood is not a realistic representation of your experiences. We conveniently forget the anxieties, insecurities and hurts that plagued us as children. These likely consumed more of our mental space than the fleeting pleasures we remember. Young people often envy older men who are successful and have their life together. Similarly, old men envy a younger man's youth and vigour. Our unconscious views the good aspects of both stages of life without considering the anxieties, insecurities and problems that come along with it. You must consider what you have and what you don't have as a true comparison, rather than comparing the good aspects of what you don't have to the bad aspects of what you do have. Understand that mentally and spiritually, a man is at his peak from 40 to 60 years old. Just because you believe your physical peak is behind you doesn't mean the more intangible metrics of your abilities are behind you too. Middle-aged men have done their apprenticeship and are now ready to put the knowledge that they have acquired to good use. The peak comes at a time after this point, but before the mind starts to decline. Men who grow older also accumulate more capital and resources, which can lead to more life success. This can invigorate a man far more than the good aspects of his youth can. If you are a young man interested in cultivating the good aspects that come about with age, then associate with the older generation. Find older people who share the same interests or operate on the same wavelength. This will open you up to experiencing the mentality behind what it takes to be successful, as well as witnessing the ripened vitality of older men. On the other hand, if you are an older man who has acquired success through your masculinity, mentor the younger generation. The world lacks strong men these days. You can re-experience some of the positive aspects of your childhood by surrounding yourself by younger people. The best reminder of this golden past is when you surround yourself by young families. Children have a pleasurable attitude to life. They have experienced less trauma and approach life differently to the older generation. Children remind us of the innocent qualities we once had and wish we could recapture. The presence of a child provides us with an experience that takes us back to this golden time. Children can be surprisingly seductive as their innocence can infect us with a helpless delight. Indulge yourself in experiences with the younger generation. After all, there is within all of us a devilish child straining to be released. Do not be afraid to let this inner child out from time to time. As you age, you'll feel social pressure to suppress this inner child. As you gain more responsibility, a certain sense of maturity is required, but this should never come entirely at the expense of killing the child within you. Find the balance of maturity and immaturity that your responsibilities allow for. Growing older is not such a bad thing when you consider the alternative. Death is one of the very few things in life that is certain. You should not fear death, nor should you spend too much time thinking about when it will come. Death is nothing but an eternal sleep, and sleep is nothing to be feared. You don't fear going to sleep at the end of every day, so why fear the sleep that comes at the end of this life? How much more suffering is caused by the thought of death than death itself? Death is nothing, but to live life defeated and inglorious is to die daily. Napoleon Bonaparte. Spending excessive time thinking about death will ruin your enjoyment of life. Come to terms with the fact that your days are numbered and limit your thoughts about death to just that concept. To think about death any more than this will only intensify the aging process. See the mortality in everyone, how it equals us, and how it connects us all. Not any one person is superior in this regard. Death can come to any one of us at any time. It is the greatest equaliser among men. As he came forth of his mother's womb, naked shall he return, to go as he came. The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 5, verse 15. Humans are aware that death will come to us all eventually, but by accepting your mortality, by embracing your death, you can begin to embrace your life. You must begin to understand how short life is and what really matters. In doing this, you will live your life with a greater sense of urgency and be able to immerse yourself deeper and more effectively in your purpose. When you face an inevitable crisis, you will be better prepared to handle the situation. You won't feel so terrified and overwhelmed. The awareness of your mortality will enable you to live life to the fullest, experiencing all the good aspects of life with an increased level of intensity. You should strive to fill your remaining days well. Fill your life with purpose, so that in the moment that death comes and time slows down to a stop, you will have no regrets. There are many examples of people dying shortly after they go into retirement. They have no real purpose to their life and they succumb to physical or mental ailments shortly after. Retirement should really be redefined as the period of life before you have died when you no longer serve a purpose to society. As Fred Trump put it, to retire is to expire. The reason that life has so much value is because it can end at any time. The most precious thing about life is its uncertainty. Imagine if you were to live life forever, you would have no risk in your life and it would not be as thrilling. The notion of a finite lifetime drives us to behave in a different way. Would you make the same choices if you were told that this was your last day of life? This kind of condensed approach is how we should approach our life, knowing that it will someday end, but only over a vastly longer time frame. Living forever would rob us of this mentality. Use the imminent deadline of death to solidify and expedite your ability to get things done. Put into practice the tools in the episodes on this channel to prolong your life, to slow down the aging process, and to combat the physical and mental negatives that come about from getting older. In addition, go against the aging process by accomplishing more, not less, as you get older. This will further increase the good aspects that come about with aging, while minimising the negatives that come along with it. Age, after all, is only just a number, and it's very insignificant as long as you look and feel young. Aging and death should not frighten you. It should encourage you to make the best of each moment and give you a sense of urgency while taking nothing for granted. Allow time and the aging process to become your greatest teacher and master, and you will live to your full potential. Here are today's final thoughts. It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live. Marcus Aurelius, Meditations. From the Dalai Lama. Man, he is so anxious about the future that he does not enjoy the present. The result being that he does not live in the present or in the future. He lives as if he is never going to die, and then he dies, having never really lived. And finally, from Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows by J.K. Rowling. The true master of death does not seek to run away from death. He accepts that he must die and understands that there are far, far worse things in the living world than dying. Thanks for watching today's episode. In episode 135, I'll detail why women cannot remain alive without men, but men would be able to remain alive without women. Subscribe and click the bell icon to be notified when it drops. Catch you then.